a CRE team that actually scales. And we're going to take just a quick overview of what we're going to talk about, and then Matt's going to take a deep dive into the system. As always, we're open for questions along the way, and we will be recording this and distributing it tomorrow. You should have a copy if you need it, and also there's going to be a handout for you to access during the presentation. So ready to get started. And today we're talking more about companies and teams to grow, not just focus on individuals, which and your performance that you can take. And while a lot of it will deal with individual solutions and what individuals can take advantage of, the real value of today's session is talking about making sure that your team is as productive as possible and you're using the technology that we provide to provide systems and processes and controls so that everyone on the team has leverage and is speaking the same language and is able to share what they need to share, and they're able to keep confidential what they want to keep confidential and manage consistency of workflows. And then to give you as managers or team leaders or business owners data and perspective on what's happening from a production level, a performance level, and a process level. So we find that it's really systems that is what we're building here, and they're built to support, enable, and manage the team. And it really starts with data integrity. So we have a controlled mechanism within RealNext. So we're not just dumping data in, but we're doing it in a way that keeps everyone speaking the same language using system tables to populate information, which makes it easily accessible and retrievable through searches and filters. And then we want to help you manage collaboration and show you how to set up teams, set permissions, and manage controls, and make sure that you have policies in place so that if you have a shared database, you know who can call who can talk to whom, and if somebody doesn't have a contact after a certain period of time, or maybe they're open, but that your policy gets put in place, but you can use the system to help manage that. And then to measure actions to drive results, to show how we can set up events and manage histories with follow-up, so you know what happened when, who's making calls, who's having meetings, who's getting listings signed and presentations made, and moving through the process to do the blocking and tackling that they need to do in the beginning to get to the financial results at the end. And then personal configuration. So while you can have enterprise level controls and views and access that everybody can share, we also have the ability for individuals to have their own unique view. So if you have a multifamily team, they may want to look at information one way, and a net lease team a different way, and a leasing team a different way. So building infrastructure into your configuration so that everyone can do what they need to do when they need to do it. And then standardizing process, using our timeline feature to have your approach to tenant rep or leasing or business development and on any type of process that you want to put in place embedded so that everyone has those tools available to them and they can repeat processes, and you can begin to hone them and make them better, faster and faster. And your performance and your brand has some meaning in the market because you're doing things in a consistent way. And then Power BI, new dashboard tools, which are just coming out, which give enterprise level visibility to activities, to project pipelines, and to property market inventory and transactions in the market. So market information, business information, and activity information with different drill down capabilities, so you can see what the organization or the market's doing as well as what individuals are doing. And then at the end of the day, it's all about getting deals done. So we're showing a way to manage and control business development pipelines and deal management, and have a tracking mechanism in so that you can assure performance and top production from your team. So key takeaways for today will be the accountability, enabling you to be better coaches and support partners in the business, and to have more predictable team production. And in the coaching aspect, I don't want to forget, and I want to make sure you're all aware, Matt, we might have some time for it, but our new AI partner, CRE Marketing Hub, is an incredible coach and mentor for you and your team to be able to develop consistency of market evaluations, property marketing strategies, targeted marketing plans, and to be your always on mentor and coach, even when you're on the run, for your agents to have a place to go to ask questions, get answers, and make sure that they have all the knowledge that we've embedded in the system to be a specifically trained AI partner for commercial real estate. So with that, Matt, I'm going to turn it over to you and let you take control.
Sounds good. And Jeff, I couldn't have done it better myself. Hopefully,
No way. I'm sure you could have.
no, you've done a phenomenal job, and hopefully everybody
Let me
can
make
take.
sure you're sharing. So it's folks, they go to webinar changed its interface on us today. So I just want to make sure, please chime in, make sure you're seeing seeing Matt's screen right now. And if someone could just raise their hand and
Oh
say,
yeah, there we go. T. Phillips, thank you.
we're good?
Appreciate that.
Perfect. All right.
Everybody's getting
Let's
thumbs
make sure
up.
the handoff worked out and you're good to go, Matt. Take it away.
So I wanted to start this off with the dashboards, right? And so what it's really important to understand is, how do we get to this point? And so sometimes we want to start with the end, so we understand where we're trying to go and what we're trying to do. And so these dashboards will be rolling out. Some people have these dashboards right now. Majority of you don't. They'll be rolling out closer to the end of this month, into May, as we roll out. And you're going to see these Power BI dashboards. And if you don't know what Power BI is, it's business intelligence built by Microsoft, and it's absolutely amazing. I've used it years before we put it into RealNext, and it's extremely powerful to see things like active projects, leads, commissions. But before we even get to a lead or a commission, we really need to understand kind of our market and what's going on. And that's where, again, the Power BI is going to tell you, what do you have in your system. So your system of record, which is RealNext, it's your source of truth, is going to be able to have all this information so you can see what's transacting. I talked to a market leader today out of Denver, and he said, Matt, there's 1,700 lease transactions in retail in my area. And it was awesome to hear. And so that's what allows him to scale. He realizes that he can only do so many transactions a year. So as he hires somebody on board, he's going to give them a market. And so we're going to walk you through how to create that support and enable and manage these teams in an effective way. And the timing couldn't be better, as we're working with more and more people on these. Now, these reports are dynamic. And so if we wanted to focus in on the properties in the area that are transacting, people are looking for distressed assets and note expiration and such. And so you're going to be able to see things in here by square footage, and you're just going to have so many data points that you're absolutely going to love using the program. But before we get to that point, we really need to start and kind of set everything up properly. And if we do it right, we create an SOP. Now, some people are scared of that, and really all it is the standard operating procedure. How are we going to do things so Jeff and I work together and not conflict by doing things differently? If Jeff puts things under a certain field, I want to make sure that I follow along, and vice versa. And then same with our team when we scale. And if you have something that's replicable, then you can scale quickly, whether that is scale out and go to the beach, or continue to hire more people on there. So one of the things that RealNext has and does really, really well is the segmentation. So there are guided tours that'll walk you through how to do this slower. I know people want me to slow down, but I only have 30 minutes. And so within inside of the RealNext program, you can add as many users as you have subscribed. Each of those users can be assigned to a team or multiple teams. So Jeff and I want to create a team. We're going to have a team Florida, team retail, team office, whatever that is. We can go to tools, we go to teams, and we can add teams. And then we can change the permissions for those teams. So depending on what team you're a part of, you might have different permissions. Team RX Data, Team MJ, Team Retail. And these permissions are all granular for each one of those teams. And so what does that mean? That means that we can make it so people can't export, delete, back up, and do other things so they don't kill our source of truth. But at the same time, we can make it so when they log in, they simply click on the property tab, and that's their market. That's their market that they're going to focus on. And then using some of the layouts and the filters and the views that I'll walk you through as we get along further, we'll show you how you can do a click, click, bang, and that's where you're going to get into it. I've had these arguments before, and I'll walk you through a little bit of the CRE Marketing Hub if I have time, but we should be really using tools, whether it's AI or anything, for a purpose. We don't just pick up a hammer to go, walk down the street and open a door. It just doesn't make sense. Same thing, if you can click a button, there's no need to complicate it by adding more layers in it. So one is think about how you want to segment things, and we can do this on scale and bulk with inside of our program. So each user sees the data set they need to, yet you have the ability to share throughout that. So whether it's your marketing team, your admin team, your research team, your VA, or anybody else, everybody is rowing in the same direction. So with those permissions, teams, and controls, it's going to make things easy. Then we want to talk about, how do we create policies for open and contact wise? Well, real easy. Inside of RealNext, you're going to have some really neat things, and you're going to see my custom layouts. You're going to see my buy boxes, my tenant boxes, and such. But each record is going to have a record owner. That is the person that has created that record, and you'll see it down here in the bottom. It's going to say record owner. Then you're going to see the team that owns that record. So you can see it's going to be Team Office, MS, and TC. That's Matt Smith and Tim Craig. You can see when it's last modified. Well, we can put things in here like, hey, if someone hasn't modified or contacted a client, and I would say typically a last call activity in 90 days, then maybe that's going to be a free client that we can all roll with, and we can all, it's going to be who comes and reaches out to that person. So creating some of those permissions on what people can and cannot do and what they can see, and then tying that into a policy of what becomes free reign in the market is always good to have when you do things with inside of the program. Now, going and creating some of these processes, like, creating these views, layouts, and filters is really important. I try to take everything that I do and relate it to something that I know, and that's how I understand it. So recently I've been talking about setting up the RealNext platform, thinking about this. The first thing that you do when you get in your car is not put on your seatbelt. It's not put in the key in the car. The first thing that most people do in the car, and you do it by muscle memory, is hit that little 1 button, the 2 button, or a 3 button that has seat memorization. Unless you're in a car that doesn't have memory seats, which is 100% respectable. I get it, but you probably go ahead and have your seat set up for you ready, because that's just the way you roll. Nobody wants to be uncomfortable. Same thing, we don't want you to be uncomfortable in your program. So we want to set things up for you. So with inside of the RealNext platform, if you go here and you go to tools, you'll see many options of teams. You'll see things like dialogue settings and personal data, and you'll see system preferences. You can always review this in the Guide Me section of the RealNext platform. In the Guide Me section of the RealNext platform, what it's going to do is it's going to show you a guided tour or a walk me session or something like that, that you can actually see it walking you through it. But make sure you set up your program. If you like underline or boxes, change it. If you want to go to dark mode or light mode, if you want to change the colors, get all that stuff done. Then once you have that done, then we want to start coming in here and saying, what is important for us? We want to create a buy box with investor type and criteria and such, versus having a standard layout with all this information in here, because it may not be important to us. Or maybe we want it on the left or the right or up or down. And you're going to be able to do that by creating these layouts. Now, each layout can be assigned to a different person, different team, or different role. So you can have multiple layouts within inside of one system. Salesforce calls this dynamic layouts, and they charge a tremendous amount of money for it. We don't. We give it to you in the program because ultimately we want to see you succeed. Like I have business broker, client profile, iPhone, iPad, Android, and then a lender version, as well as my own client profile. Now, each one of these, we can make it simple, because sometimes people are like, man, I got to fill out 9 boxes. Well, think about this. You're going to match buyers and sellers and tenants in space. Now, we give you all the fields, so it's not like customizing it from scratch. You're simply picking it off the menu of the best fields that are going to be the best and most productive for different aspects in our program: companies, properties, spaces, lease, sale comps, projects, and contacts. Now, within this, we can even make it even easier for you. We can say must use pop-up table, and then we can go comma separated. And so what this allows us to do is, instead of going through and saying, hey, I'm going to go and type something. And look, most of you probably know who I am and you see me type. It's probably not pretty. I don't need to type in here. I simply select industrial, multifamily, and office. And now I'm starting to create that buy box. I do the same thing for a tenant. I do the same thing when I'm raising capital or working with developers. And this allows me to have a filterable, repeatable process that works every time. If you're using groups to track this, stop. Talk to one of our team members and we'll help you get set up. So then if you want to find anything in our program, you simply create a filter by right-clicking. You can add as many filters as you need to drill down to the information. And then you can save those filters for future use so you don't have to recreate the wheel every single time. The more filters you have, the better your program is going to work for you. So you're not working for your program, and it's high tech, high touch. So use those layouts. Now, what I like to do is I actually like to take those layouts and I like to create a view in here just like this. Now, you're probably familiar with Excel. I don't like Excel or PowerPoint, and the reason I don't like Excel or PowerPoint is because I'm not good at it. And I use RealNext for everything that I have here. But what's really nice is when you have your view correlating to this, you can change your client rating right here. And you can use your drop-down menu to turn your client from a C rating to a B rating, from a B rating to a C rating, or vice versa. You can go ahead and you can add investor criteria from here. You can go ahead and you can track whether it's retail deal or hospitality or agriculture. Whatever is important to you, you see the information and the data that's going to help you transact quicker, faster, and easier. Now with that, and you have your views, your layouts, and your filters, then you're going to be able to start tying some other data points in there. So think about this. Now I'm on the contacts tab. Who have I not called in my C client ratings in a year? There's no follow-ups. There's no automatic follow-ups. I don't need a tickler. I don't need Claude telling me, hey, to follow up with someone. I simply just need to click a button. Now, once I go ahead and I make this call, I'm going to go ahead and make this call here, put in my subject as a follow-up on here, and I can just say notify renewal options in here. Oh, and I got a keyboard stuck. Sorry about that. See, that's how I type. That's just, yeah, I do follow-up. Now I'm going to add my voice dictation in here, and I'm going to do my cold call, follow up, whatever it is. And now I don't have a next step because Steve just said, hey, call me in a few months. No problem. I'm not calling him in a few months. I'm going to call him on my cadence. Unless he says, hey, call me in 30 days, 90 days, 2 weeks, and we have a date set, I'm not going to. Now what I can do is I can run that filter again, and now it's gone. So I didn't have to create 450 follow-ups. Now, I try not to click around too much in the program, but if your dashboard looks like this, or your Outlook or your Gmail looks like this, set up a call with one of the regional reps, myself, Jen, or Mark, Sarah, or anybody else on our team, and say, hey, I want to learn how to be more efficient. Now, what we want to do is we want you to get from 873 days past due to little or nothing past due. Now, we know things come up, life happens, and it is what it is, but it's better to have something that is 7 days old than not. And these things should be revenue producing items, revenue producing. So when you look at your calendar, you get excited. When most people look at their calendars, they dread it. Why? Because it's just following up with the same person that's not going anywhere, and they're looking at all these signals. Now, while your friends and everybody else is playing around with all this AI stuff and it's telling them all things to chase, you're focusing on the things that matter that's going to help you grow and scale. And that is following up with the clients at the right time when you need to follow up with them and focusing on revenue producing items. Now, there's also going to be other things like we just did a lease with a client. Well, why don't we create a timeline for a 5-year, a 7-year, a 10-year, and a 15 lease? Because that's what we normally do for leasing. And we're going to throw in anniversaries in there, begin search for new space, and renewal options. That way, they're automatically populating within our calendar, synchronizing to Outlook or Gmail. They're showing on our dashboard, and they can be assigned to multiple people on your team. So you can set it and forget it. And then that way, when it comes in here, you simply go ahead and you finish your event. You forget about it, it'll come back on here and you'll follow up with a client and you'll get that lease renewal. And it's going to feel good because you're going to say, I said it and I forget it. And it comes up and it's like, Here's the money. Show me the money. Isn't that what they say in Jerry Maguire? I've never watched Jerry Maguire. I probably should because I hear it all the time about show me the money, but I haven't done that. To create some of these timelines, it's super easy. You simply go to Tools, Timelines, Manage Timelines, and you're going to see this little magical button. It's going to say Teach Me. And you'll see this throughout our program. Click it. Okay? Because what it's going to do is it's going to teach you how to create a timeline. So completing tasks and less time managing them, right? Again, how do we be high tech, high touch? We don't want you doing a bunch of things within the program and not be productive. I had a video that I created. I watched someone go ahead and create a property, a contact in a company, and they said, man, that program is hard to use. It takes a lot of steps. Why? We went ahead and we created where you can add a property from anywhere. You can simply tie in the property address. It pulls in from auto mapping. And if the client's already in here, the company's already in here, it's going to find who that company is. And then it's going to tie it right to that company. And then you can tie it to a contact that's already in there. And that contact, and I don't know all my contacts that are in my database. There's Ken, and I can create a contact, a company, and a property all from one screen. And I can go back to following up with my 1-year anniversary that my client will say, hey, this was amazing. My previous tenant representative person did not. And I don't know why this thing came up on here. My computer's going wild. It sounds like there's a tornado in my computer. It's running so hard right now because I have 3 screens. This is going to be helping you out with a lot of those things that you're never going to have to worry about if you set it and forget it. So creating those layouts and views and filters, and then setting those closed events so we can see that history following up. I do a lot of training. And so if you train with me, you understand my mentality. As I was going through and working with the team yesterday, I was showing them how they can easily synchronize their emails with Gmail and Outlook. And then take those emails that come in and tie them to a project. So they can easily tie those into a project like Balboa Office Park that then will show up on a marketing activity report. And so now what you're doing is you're doing less work, you're getting more productivity. So you can go on Facebook Marketplace like I do late at night and start scrolling around for the interesting things that are out there, tractors and tires. And now that I'm saying that, it's going to come up on my marketplace. And then once you have all this done, from the data integrity to the managed collaboration, measuring those actions to drive those results, personal configurations and timelines, now you're starting to get the usability of that Power BI dashboard that's going to start telling you what to do, right? And so this is telling us what to do. Dashboards are going to give us the results we want. And then you're going to have a way that you can manage all these assignments. Now, you also have business development tracking. If you've watched webinars at all, Jeff and I are on them. And I love to do things like tenant pitches. Who am I meeting with? Are we looking for space for them even though we don't have a signed agreement? Are we touring space until we get a signed agreement? Who have we have potential space property planning with? What companies have we have? If we have nothing in the front, nothing's going to go out the back, meaning if we don't have deals in the front, we're not going to get paid commission. So if you want to hit your $250,000 GCI, you've got to make sure you have enough meetings. Enough meetings need to convert to valuations. Valuations need to convert to deals. If they're not converting to deals, stop doing them. Let's figure out a way together that we can get them to convert. Well, one of the ways that you can go ahead and you can get these deals to convert if they're not converting is you can go to our CRE Marketing Hub. Our CRE Marketing Hub is going to give you insights on things that you might not have thought about. It's going to tell you, hey, who's going to be the perfect client for this elbow inside of this shopping center? Or who's going to be a good anchor unit for this shopping center? Or who would be good for this pad site that I can reach out to? Can you create a persona for me for a Dutch Bros or what's that, Slurp or Sip or I don't know. There's so many of these other companies, and I hope they're around for a long time, but I'm not sure when you have your company named like that. But it's going to allow you to track all that business development and deal management. And then on top of that, you're going to have a customized pipeline that you can drag and drop in a Kanban fashion, run reports on it to provide activity reports so clients go, no, you're actually going out and you're doing business and not just going out playing pickleball in Palm Springs. And now you can see and hear who's offer pending, where you're at signature wise. And again, if you get stuck along the way, you're simply going to go ahead and pop into one of your AI assistants, and we're going to go down to Deal Coach. I am a big fan of Deal Coach. Some of the other things like CapWise and stuff, I use the underwriting in here. I'm not really going into there, but CRE Mentor Pro is really, really cool. Now that's going to take me into my GTP and everything. But if you want to learn more about it, you simply go ahead and you click on CRE Marketing Hub, and we'd love to tell you more. If you want a personalized demo, simply email any one of us and we'll give you a demo on how it works, from the prompt library to the marketing center to the AI assistants, which this has the most value of these assistants because it's going to tell you who's going to be the right client to fill that space. So then you can go ahead and use
Matt, just to remind everybody, in that when you were on that page at the bottom of it, there are live getting started and coaching sessions every Friday. So if you're interested, rather than come to you or Jen or Mark individually, come into one of the coaching sessions, which are fantastic.
So yeah, do that.
Instruction.
That's way better.
Back on that dashboard, there was a way to register. So just go to your account and take a quick look. And there's a 14-day free trial too. So those bottom three items of getting started, coaching and use case, and we will have upcoming masterminds. Right now, there's no mastermind scheduled, but we have getting started and coaching sessions tomorrow. So if you're interested in learning more about this, come on in. We'd love to see you there and share best practices on how to use AI and the CRE Marketing Hub in particular.
That's even better because whoever's doing this is probably way smarter than me. So you'll probably want to be with them instead of me. But we're all always here to help you. But we can't get to the end without the beginning. But we don't know where to start until we look at the end. And so that's why we wanted to have this system support and enable and manage teams. And so we really want you to understand that accountability. I was talking to a client today and he said, Matt, I was using another program and I'm in your program. And I had a tough time at first until you got with me and you told me what to do and how to do it. I understood it. And now I have to learn how to, he did say something like adulting. He has to start adulting. And I love that because that's exactly what we're talking about. It's stronger accountability. Hold your feet to the fire. If you really want to hit those numbers, do them. If you don't, no problem. But you say you do, and we're here to help you. And that's going to allow you to have better coaching conversations on why are we getting everybody in process, but we haven't actually toured them. What's going on? Are we generating leads just to generate leads? I've watched people use these automated programs and stuff, and in 3-4 months, they're out of the program, back into our system because they're chasing leads that will never become a lead because they're thinking about how do I automate my whole business. And quite frankly, if you're in the business and working on the business, you're making the money in the business. And we want things to be predictable. And that's what it's going to do. And as I showed you those Power BI reports, that's what you're going to start getting in is predictable wins. And it's going to be a lot better, a lot less ebb and flow. It's going to be ebb and flow. Deals will fall out of escrow. Clients will default on their leases. It's going to happen, inevitable. But if you can have the right data insights and use those to look at somebody and saying, oh, wow, this tenant actually might default. Let's go, try to backfill this area. Then that's a great way to do it and have tenants set up, ready to move in case that tenant does default. And that's where you're going to be able to have that predictability. And then really, you're going to start seeing your activity versus busy work. We're all busy, but what are we really busy doing? Are we busy being productive? Or are we just busy? You decide at the end of the day, and we're here to help you. How are we doing on time, Jeff?
We're right on target. And there is a paperclip little icon that should be on the top of your screen. If you click on that, there's a download there for you with some highlights from today and some notes and some ways to better maybe capsulize the takeaways from this that you can refer to from time to time. But there'll also be the video coming out. But make sure you grab that download and take it. And if you have any questions, we will take a few minutes. If we need to run a few minutes over, we'll do that. But don't see any questions in there, Matt. You covered it all, I think, well in a tight window. And if you're interested, remember to log in and take advantage of the CRE Marketing Hub, free trial there, and join us for one of the Friday sessions. And we do have a couple of questions coming in before we wrap up here.
Yeah, one of the things I want to do, remind everybody here, and I'm not sure what I just did. Hopefully you can all see my screen still. Can you all see my screen? I don't know what I just did. Yeah, so I just did something here, and it looks like I have a pen, so I can draw a smiley face or something, but I have no clue how to get my marker back. How do we get this off? But I did want to remind everybody, we do have a beautiful plugin that is inside of Google and inside of Outlook. Go download it. It's in the app stores for Google and Outlook. Put it right into your Outlook and Gmail, and it turns emails right into contacts for you. So you're doing less work. You're adding emails. It can also take emails from other lead sites. So if you get a lead from another third party that you use, it can turn that lead into a contact, attach them right to a project right inside of Outlook and Gmail. So if you don't have it, go install it. It takes you a couple seconds. If you need help or struggle, put a support ticket in. We're here to help you with that. I continuously show people that have used the program for a while. They're not downloaded the mobile app. They haven't installed the plugin, and they haven't set up their synchronization with Outlook or Gmail. Do it, and do it now. We're here to help you with that whole process. Jeff, you said some questions came in. Did this help out right here?
Yeah, I think the smiley face scared them away, so they cleared out. We got
they cleared out real quick. They're like, that's not good.
One of the other tools that's there, we don't spend enough time with it, Matt. We will have a special session for it, but just show quickly, if you would. And there's a new release coming out next month. A number of great things coming out. One, we have and this is not what I want you to show, but we have got a new virtual deal room coming out. But two, for your scalable processes, if you're doing tenant rep, make sure you engage with the mobile app for our tour book and leasing app so that you can engage with your clients. But again, there's a great new enhancement coming out with that, and we'll show you more, but just another way to enable your team to be as productive as possible with the digital tour book that they can work with their clients and showcase spaces and rate spaces, evaluate spaces, do comparative lease analysis. The investment analysis also is an incredible tool to be able to evaluate offerings and to make sure your team is underwriting in a consistent way and getting professional presentations out the door. So with that, Matt, I think we're ready to roll. Thank you, everybody, for joining us, and we will see you next time.
Thanks, everybody. Have a great week.